here we are at ISHII 32, and we are chatting with Dane Plaza, and he is from Bodhi. Welcome, Dane.
Thanks for having me.
It's so great that you're here. How many times have you come to an ISHII?
I've been here about 4 times, but it's been quite a while. I think the last time I was here at ISHII was probably out in California, in Hollywood, like in '08. So this usually runs along a couple other conferences I attend, so it's nice. It's really nice to be back.
Yeah, yeah. For sure, during the middle of a pandemic, being able to see people. Yeah.
Getting back out, getting back in the conference setting and doing the interactions with colleagues and people I haven't seen for a while, or ex-coworkers, so it's been great.
Yeah, that's great. So what are you guys doing over there at Bodhi? What did you bring here to discuss here at ISHII?
So we're working on a program that uses rapid DNA, and we look for child trafficking along the southwest U.S. border. We operated that for around the past 2 years, encountered about 3,500 family units that we tested. Everything was cruising along, and we were running upwards of 1,000 samples a month. And then COVID hit, and all the migration kind of slowed down. And it's been up and down the last couple of months, but it really was impactful. We saw, convictions based on DNA because that they maybe had a fraudulent passport that looked correct, or fraudulent birth certificates, but the rapid DNA showed no, they're not related, so they could go ahead for conviction for child trafficking. We've also seen the other aspect too, where a family might have fled a country that did not have any time to get their documentation. They have just their story, looked a little shaky, they run the DNA and confirm, nope, these are parent-child, they can stay together and go that way. So it's had 2 really types of effect. And then talking to agents down there too, they know that as these programs build, the word spreads, there's DNA in these sectors. So people that get rolled up saying, well, we know you have DNA, you called us, and they kind of either confess right away or start avoiding there and try to look for other avenues in. That's
amazing. So how did you even set that up? Like what's the structure does that look like down at the border? Like, what are you?
So it changes dramatically based on the location that you're at.
Okay.
Because right now we started at 7 locations. They thought these are going to be the hot spots. And then from there it grew to, well, we need 10 locations. We need 13. And then we had so many instruments spread out. We'd see a surge in, say, Arizona. We'd move a bunch of instruments from Texas that was slow to Arizona and meet that surge. So it was really constantly moving instruments, personnel, machines around to hit anything that the government would need.
And that is Bodhi taking care of that? Like, you're interfacing with the Border Patrol and deciding where to move?
Yes, so it's a DHS ISHII program that we operate underneath. But yeah, we'd work with them, and they would tell us where they would see possibly influxes or where possibly migrant patterns would go. Or they'd say, well, we want a new site in this part of Texas. Can you get it done in 5 days? And so stuff like that, where deploy people, deploy personnel, deploy instruments, and get things set up and train people, and then get them rolling from there.
So these people that you're training to do this work, they're not Bodhi employees, or they already are, and you're sending them there, or you're...
So we have a stable of internal personnel that were trained on how to do this, but in the field for the operators, these are all DHS personnel, ICE, HSI personnel, that they would collect the samples, they'd run the samples, they'd get the reports, they'd know what to do with them. So I talked about in my talk, the training program was key, because you're looking at non-technical operators that could even be scared of DNA or this rapid machine that's not cheap. But training them, getting them comfortable, they'd use it, we found more and more and more if they're familiar with it.
Yeah. Wow, that's an incredible process.
Yeah, I think we trained a little over 300 government agents in rapid DNA technology over the past 2 years.
That's fantastic. Have any of them wanted to switch over into genetic identity in the forensics world? Or
no, but a lot of them said, they've kept in touch and saying, hey, we're really interested in this, or some of the personnel that's been part of it for all 2 years, just raved about it, saying this really did make an impact and showed what technology getting out into the hands of operators that would normally not have access to it.
Yeah.
And based on, just doing interviews that they've done for years and years, their set way, changing to use technology now to supplement their investigations.
That's impressive. And does Bodhi do, what are the other aspects of the Bodhi company? What else do you guys do?
So that's really like the Federal Operations Group, which I direct. That's more of what I do. I do these operational ones, support government agencies, put bodies in seats. But Bodhi, the vast majority of Bodhi's business is your standard forensic DNA testing, casework, criminal offender databasing, contracted research, human identification, collection products. So I'm more on the offshoot of the federal program side.
Yeah, and was that a brand new thing just 2 years ago? Or?
Yeah, it was. The DHS came out with a requirement saying, "Hey, we need this," and put it out to competitive bid, and we won the bid, and then operated it from start to finish.
That's amazing. Very good work. So tell me, how does it feel to be a part of something that is so impactful for people's lives? I mean,
it feels great. It's a lot of hard work. migrant patterns never stop, so I'd get a lot of phone calls Saturday night at 11:30, hey, we have a question here, what to do here and here. And you get up and you deal with it, but at the same time you see the impact of it's keeping families together or it's stopping trafficking. And then when you're in the moment and you're operating so quickly in 24/7 pace, you kind of lose track of the big picture. And then you hear from operators, you talk to them saying, this made a difference in this case, or here's a story we want to share with you of why we caught this person. One story I shared today is a guy tried to get through and DNA eventually caught him, and he then confessed to trying to get this kid through other border locations too, and he was trying to get him through to possibly traffic him. And it's stuff like that you stop saying, okay, it's worth all the time, the effort, and really seeing a big picture impact, and what you do on a day-to-day basis makes a difference.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is so necessary, right? Because that is kind of a epidemic of itself on that border from what I'm hearing and understanding, and I'm not anywhere near it. That's just the news.
And rewinding back a couple years before rapid DNA was there, you could just do investigations, and plus you can only hold them for a couple of days. So if you just go on their word, and you could be releasing people, but now you kind of marry this technology that was not really intended for that, and then a need that's happening currently right now in a crisis, and that married really well together.
Yeah. So that rapid DNA, how quickly are you getting your information back?
So right now the instrument that we're utilizing is about 92 minutes from by the time you put the swab into the machine to get your answer out. And it's really a nice user interface, and for like the non-technical operator, everything's a prompt, like put the swab into this cartridge, insert it here, it does a countdown, and when it's done you say this is the possible parent, this is the possible child, run the report, and it spits out 100%, 0%, or somewhere in the middle. And in those cases they'd send it back to us saying, what does this mean? And we go through, but the vast majority are thumbs up, thumbs down within, from swab to result, you're probably looking at maybe 100 minutes.
Wow.
Where before, if you put it in FedEx, 2 days, sit in a backlog, you could be looking at 3 months, but we can do it within 2 hours.
So I'm wondering, why is this rapid DNA technology, does it have to be a swab? I mean, is it that critical? Like, you would not be doing this off of blood or a dried blood stain, or
you can. This was just kind of one aspect of rapid DNA and how it could be used. So buccal swabs or reference swabs are the cheek. That's the one way we do it now. But the different vendors, they also have different modules where you can run evidence. You can run bone, you can run blood, you can run swabs from evidence, and try to match up, try to database either samples or try to connect suspects to database to reference samples. So they're growing more and more, and they're getting better and better at how to handle ones. I know they do a lot of DVI work. They've done boat fires and forest fires. You can do plane crash victims. Obviously, harder samples, sometimes you don't get the greatest results. But even if you have some type of disaster, and databasing all the family units right there on site to try to hit references, it's really the fact that you can move DNA out of a lab to field forward, but at the same time you still have that attachment to a laboratory to do the support and the reach back and the training if need be.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that is part of Bodhi as well. You would go all the way through to the end. You would be looking up the genetic genealogy of a sample or anything. Do you use any of those programs?
We do internally have a genetic genealogy program. That wouldn't be associated with this program right now. But we do forensic genetic genealogy for different clients. For this, it was more, the scope was very set and limited. Government with privacy impact assessments and privacy concerns. This one was strict parent, child. That's the only thing you look at. Only one is a yes, no if they're parent-child. So, and once again, it's not the DNA is the only thing they have riding on it. It's a tool in their toolbox for investigative leads. If they ever needed to go, we're going to go to court based on this, they'd send it through accredited laboratory processes for testimony, but this is just a tool that they can use.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. If you did get one that was kind of a maybe, maybe not, is that another relation? That
it could be
that specific? Could you tell that it was an uncle or a?
If you run the stats, you possibly could look at that. But once again, I won't say handcuffed, but we were mandated to. Here's your narrow path. Here's what you need to work on. A lot of the inconclusives could have been, you have a couple of genetic markers that are maybe very close but a little bit different. So we're also AABB accredited for relationship testing. So we have accredited experts. We kick that to say, hey, make your determination from there. Almost every single time we could say, absolutely it's no, absolutely it's yes. It was rare. I think we had maybe, I can't remember the exact number, between 10 and 20 that were truly, it's somewhere between them. It's probably a relative, but we can't determine based on, it could be a genetic abnormality or something that's just a close mutation, but that's out of 3,500. So it was very rare that would happen.
That is so great. And so here you are at ISHII, and what's one of the best parts about ISHII?
I think ISHII is so unique as compared to other conferences is everything is focused on DNA. Other ones you get off into trace and tool marks and footprint evidence, and you kind of lose that that soul of we're talking only about human identity, only about DNA. Other ones where some of the DoD focused ones where it's more iris and face and DNA is mentioned as kind of a side thing. But I think this is the only place you can go to and just talk DNA, forensic DNA identification, and the whole group can still talk on the same page of music.
Yeah, and it's very interconnected, right? So a lot of the people that are here already,
Yeah.
and can work well with them right here on site. So that's
either people I've worked with currently, people I've worked with in the past, or I said catching up with old colleagues and seeing what they're doing, what their research is. Even a couple days ago, I had my family down for the first part of the weekend, sent them back, and some other people are doing the same and discussing different ideas and what are you presenting on, what are you presenting on.
Yeah.
So, and then kind of getting back into that interaction. COVID took a lot away from people being in front of a screen. I really think this type of interaction will just help grow and continue to move things forward.
I agree with you 100%. Yes, and your kids were here?
Yep, they were here from Friday till yesterday morning.
What parks did you go to?
We went to Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom.
Did you go to Star Wars Land?
Oh yes,
Did they freak out?
They
Did you
did.
freak out?
I did. I'd never been on Rise of Resistance yet. It was unreal, because we didn't tell them either. They went to drop me off.
Oh my gosh!
They went to drop me off at the airport,
best.
and I said, here's a present before I leave. Be good. And it was a ticket to Disney, and they freaked out and then hopped on the plane. So they had a good weekend, but now they're back in school.
You might be the second best dad in the world. I mean, right behind myself. You are way up there. You and your wife are doing it right. No, that's super fun. Yeah. It's nice that ISHII is here, and
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to Wednesday night. I don't know about you.
That's gonna be great. Last time we were here, I went to Animal Kingdom, but the kids were too little to really go on Avatar, so I'm looking forward to be able to ride that, and it should be a very good night.
It's my favorite ride ever in the history of the world.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Rise of the Resistance is a great experience.
Yes.
Right? But not my favorite ride, but my favorite experience.
I agree,
So,
because it's so weird that you go from walking to a ride to walking to a ride, and
Yeah.
so it's kind of a whole different entity other than just a ride.
You're a part of the action.
Yes, and it was phenomenal.
They will interact with you. If you do the wrong thing, they'll tell you about it.
Oh yeah, they were scolding my 9-year-old son, saying, "You need to do this, get off the wall," and it was pretty good.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Another nice thing that I really like about ISHII is the swag. Just getting the stuff.
Yeah, I need to go get my bag, and I figured get my presentation done and then go start
Yeah.
scooping stuff up left
You
and
gotta
right.
scoop stuff up. You got anything from Bodhi? What are they
Yeah,
handing out?
I do. We have Bodhi. Everybody asks, and even at my meetings now, is our pens. Everybody loves the Bodhi
Okay.
pen. I get people I haven't seen in 2 or 3 years, and just in a random meeting, like, "Did you bring an extra pen for me?" Because they always like these nice heavy Bodhi pens. So that's one thing that they've always liked.
Okay.
But no, for you for the interview, I brought. We have challenge coins for some of our operations we do. So I brought you a Bodhi operations challenge coin. I don't know if you know the history of challenge coins. Usually for challenge coins,
don't
it's
know.
people involved in certain operations or certain projects. You're talking to me about this project, so that's a challenge coin.
Okay.
If you happen to go out at night, you might be hanging out with a group of different people. But if some people have all worked on the same program and somebody brings out their coin and challenges you, if you don't have it on you, you buy a round for the entire group. So
Oh
it's
my
something that you
gosh.
always they can challenge you to see if you have your unit coin on you. So it's a military-based thing, but we started doing it for some of our vendors and some of our projects.
That's
So
super fun.
I
What a
see you
great
out this
idea.
week.
And that's
Make
a
sure-
serious coin.
Oh,
I'm going to
yes.
keep that with me. Because I
Absolutely.
don't have any money. I ain't buying nothing.
No,
so
no.
I guarantee you're going to win that. Well, you know what? I have a few things that I'd like to give you as well. If
Sounds
that's
good.
fine.
Perfect.
Got a little bit of swag. So we got this beach ball.
Oh, perfect.
And then, it's not ISHII without, some food. So I brought you some candy.
my 6-year-old daughter, she'll
Oh, yeah.
she'll
That'll
eat
be
this
amazing.
up.
And let's see what else we have. I've got this lemon. It's because we just like to give out lemons.
Okay.
And straight up plant. So
Pot of
I
plant?
don't know what other people are giving out, but I give out some really cool stuff.
I feel like I'm in SpongeBob. It'd be perfect.
And then this towel, just in case you're going to head down to the pool later.
I might get out of the suit and do that here pretty
Okay,
soon. So
that would be fun. See you in your other suit.
yes, that sounds good.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and talking to me, Dane. This has been really great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoy ISHII 32, and I'll see you at ISHII 33, right?
I'm going to make it my regular thing now.
Okay,
Yep.
that's so great.
Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right, nice chat.
Yep. Thanks.
You bet.